Hello, dear friends. What if I tell you that time stops for me, for you, and universe is going on, and universe is moving on, and this is the argument, and the argument is that time freezes for us, and then at the same time the universe is going on, and how we can perceive such a kind of thing. So imagine this. Imagine that right now, at this exact moment, everything around you freezes. The motion ceases. The air stops. It stops moving. And all of a sudden, sound disappears. And light itself seems like it has stuck. It seems like stuck in place. A bird, a bird in the sky, motionless, a falling droplet of water suspended in the mid-air. The entire universe frozen. But at the same moment of time, but something feels wrong. Let's take it this way, that something feels wrong, because this is not a world that has stopped. The world is going on and on. This is a world that has moved on. And it has moved on without you. Time has stopped. It has stopped for you. But for the universe is going on. And I can say that, and the universe, it feels like it has never paused, basically. It just kept going on and on. Now, the argument is that, now if we think carefully, if that really happened, how would you even know? The time has stopped for you. And to answer this question, to answer that, we have to understand something deep, something deeper. It's not clocks, not seconds, not minutes. We have to understand what time actually is. Because time is not something that you see. Time is not something that I'm seeing. It's not something that you touch. Neither you see it, nor I see it, nor anybody is there who can touch. Time is change. Every moment, I can say, every moment every moment that you experience, it exists. It exists because something changed. This is a very strong argument. Your heartbeat, your breathing, signals moving inside your brain, inside your body. Even at this moment of time, even right now, you are understanding these words only because your mind is moving. Your mind is moving from one moment to the next. So let's pause here. Let's stop here. Let's pause here for a moment, for a second. If nothing changes, I mean, there is no change in any signal, what exactly is left? What is left if nothing is changing? Because if your personal time stops, your brain stops. There's no communication in the brain. Your thoughts will stop automatically. Your perception, your intuition, realization, your perception stops. And here is the disturbing part. Here's a disturbing part of the argument. You would not notice. Because what we notice, I can say it like this, because noticing takes time. You need that mechanics. You need that motion. We can say that even awareness needs a sequence, a before and an after. So we can say here that without that, there's no experience, no darkness, no silence. These are the wrong words. And there's no emptiness as well. Because even emptiness is something you must feel. You must feel over the time. So, when there is no change in time, you're not going to feel these things. Instead, we could say there is, from matter point of view, there is no transition at all. No moment where you realize something is wrong. So you cannot even realize when time stops. When it stops for you alone. Which means from your perspective, from your perception, from your perspective, nothing ever happens. And yet everything has already ended. This is how we can perceive this argument. This is how we can have some point of understanding for this argument. But now you shift your imagination. You shift this imagination just slightly. Because while you are frozen, there's no time going on in you. Because you are frozen, the universe is not. Stars are still burning in the sky. Galaxies are still colliding. They are not only colliding, there's formation of new galaxies. Time everywhere else continues unfolding. Time goes on in different civilizations, in different regions. Civilizations are rising and disappearing. Planets form and are destroyed. The sun expands, swallowing. Let's take the example of Earth, swallowing the Earth. And billions of years later, the universe that we perceive, the universe becomes colder. It goes on. The second law of thermodynamics goes on and on. It becomes colder. It becomes darker. It becomes quieter. All of this happens. It will go on happening while you remain trapped in a single unchanging instant. Now this sounds like imagination. It feels like, oh, come on, it's all imagination. It's not going to be anything close to the reality. But here is what it becomes uncomfortable. This idea is not a fiction. It's not science fiction. It's a scientific reality. It's hidden inside the real physics. And in the time, in this context, time is not the same for everyone. It basically depends on how you move, how your body moves, how the basic mechanisms in your body move. The faster you move, the slower your time becomes. So now let's push this idea. Basically, the idea is like this: as we imagined at the very start of this argument, if time freezes for you, now push this idea to its extreme. Move closer and closer to the speed of light, and your time slows more and more and more until it nearly stops. Now think about what that means. What it means, how we can translate this argument. Now, from your perspective, everything feels normal. Everything is perfect. But from the universe's perspective, from the point of view of universe, from the perception of the universe, time is racing ahead. Years pass. For you, the time is not passing. The time for the universe, years pass, centuries pass, millions of years pass. All while you barely move forward. And at the absolute limit, time doesn't just slow down. It disappears. It spontaneously disappears. And for you, the time is zero. So now the question becomes unavoidable. If time disappears, what happens to you? The universe is going on and on. Millions and billions of years are going on and on. What happens to you? Because everything you call you depends on time, basically. A thought, it takes time. A moment, it takes time. Even as I said before in the previous videos, even the feeling that I exist, it takes time. It takes time to form. So if time stops, the thought will stop. The memory that you have, it will stop. And the identity that you have, A, B, C, D, that identity will stop. What that means, I can say, which means you don't experience the stillness if you're running with that speed, if you're running with the speed of light. You don't observe the silence. You don't witness the eternity from to, because there is no you, because there is no you left to do any of that what I talked about. Because you are moving with the speed of light. And that forces us into this argument basically forces us into a deeper realization. And what's that deeper realization is that maybe time was never flowing in the first place. It never meant to flow. We imagine time is, how do we imagine it? We imagine it's like a river going on, flowing from past, coming from past to present and moving into the future. But what if that's just how our mind intercepts this reality? You should try to think about it. What if nothing is actually flowing? Because what if every moment, the past, the present, And the future, what if all the three states already exist? Like frames in a film. The film doesn't move. It doesn't move. Only the projector creates the motion. The film is all there. The beginning of the film, the middle of the film, and the ending of the film, they're all there. And that projector is perhaps your consciousness, moving frame by frame. But everything is there. It's just creating the illusion of the passing of time. It's just creating that illusion that time is passing. Now imagine this. Imagine this, that the projector that's projecting the movie on the screen, the projector stops. It stops. The film is still there. Every moment still exists. But the motion simply disappears. So that we can say it like this, the whole experience disappears. The story that's on that film disappears because you are not allowing the motion. The projector is not imposing the images on the screen. So now we can come back to where we started our argument. If time stops for you, the universe does not stop. We can take it like this. We can make an argument like this. Reality does not collapse. It doesn't end. Only your movement through it ends. Through you ends. You don't see the darkness. You don't feel the silence. You don't realize anything. Because we started with an argument that if the time stops for you. So, because without time, there's no you. There's no you left to even ask the question. And yet, the universe continues. The universe goes on and on. It continues unaware, unaffected. The time stops for you. The universe goes on and on, unstoppable. It feels good. It feels beautiful. And here is the final thought. Here is the final argument. The one that changes everything. The one that makes the changes. The one that changes everything. Maybe time is not something outside you. Maybe it's not a universal force. It's not a universal force carrying everything forward. Or we can say, we can say maybe time is the way your consciousness moves. Maybe it's a way that your consciousness moves through the reality. And when that motion, when that movement, when that action stops, it's not time that disappears. The time is not disappearing. It's you. It's you. And it's you. So the next time you hear a clock tickling, click, 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 don't think of it as a time passing. It's not the time that's passing, because the deeper truth, the deep reality might be this: time is not moving around you. It's not moving around you with respect to the motion of the planets and stars and galaxies and the clicks of these clocks. It's you. You are moving through time. And one day, without even warning, that movement will simply stop. That motion will simply stop. Now this is it that I started with, and my end feels to be same. And in between the lines,